Zuldorf was working outside. Score! Set up the fiddler who tips it home.
A year after winning a state title with Edina, Ryan Zuhlsdorf is 4.5 hours from home, a junior at Sioux City East.
It was really tough at first. I was, the new kid in school.
The 17-year-old future Gophers player is on his way to American history class this morning, his last class of the day because hockey starts at noon.
We figure it out so we get enough credits in the year for school, so it works out just fine. I decided to make up time. I decided to do my Spanish in the summer, just so it'll be easier for me in the school day.
In 1872, they found gold in the Black Hills, Deadwood, South Dakota.
Today's history lesson just happens to be on boomtowns, places where hopeful people would flock with the dream of a better future. Rather fitting. Last year, a record 41 kids from Minnesota left their high school teams early, most for the USHL.
I thought if I stayed at high school, I'd play more of a dominant role, but I wanted to challenge myself and develop as a player more.
Ryan plays for the Sioux City Musketeers.
For me, the USHL is the premier league to develop into a college hockey player.
Since the league goes up to 20 years old, it's bigger, stronger, and older competition than high school. Since they don't get paid, they retain their amateur status for college.
There's a lot more video, like we go over systems. Structure is a big deal here. Games are more physical, fast. This is the Palace.
The teams hire host families to house their players, kind of like a foreign exchange student.
These two here were the first two.
Ryan lives with Claudia and Mike Ratkowitz, who've hosted nearly 24 players in the last dozen years, including a pair,
Sam Gagne and Max Pacioretty,
now in the NHL.
We always try to put them at ease and let them know that the minute they step in our door, they're like our family.
The idea is to mirror life back home as much as possible.
I love Claudia and Mike, they're awesome.
But it's not life back home. It is a sacrifice.
It was hard, very hard leaving. Very hard leaving that behind.
So while Ryan knows not everyone back home is thrilled with his decision to do this, he wants them to understand it.
I honestly think they have no idea what it's like.
Really proud of him. I think he's chosen a hard route. You just have to really be committed.
I support him 100% in that, and he was ready for it.
But is it necessary? Leaving your family, friends, teammates, basically your whole life behind for a new team, new town, new life? Is any of it necessary? Many in Minnesota would answer that question with a resounding no.
They need to look at the facts, and the facts are it's okay to stay.
Mike McMillan is the executive director of the Minnesota Hockey Coaches Association, which, sensing the trend a few years ago, started a marketing campaign aimed at convincing the state's elite players to stay.
You go to a high school hockey game, it's a very good hockey, there's scouts everywhere.
They point to guys like Kyle Rao, Justin Kloos, and Johnny Brodzinski in college, Nick Leddy, Matt Niskanen, TJ Oshie, and more in the pros, all who finished high school hockey instead of jumping early to juniors, and are doing quite well.
So to draw the parallel, staying or leaving, doesn't really matter.
Of the 33 Minnesotans on opening day NHL rosters this season, 22 finished high school hockey.
More than half stayed in pure high school.
4.5 hours southwest, Ryan says leaving high school has worked out well for him.
I think definitely I would have developed if I stayed at high school, but I think I would have developed even more if I came here.
He's well aware of what he's left behind.
I definitely miss my friends and family.
But he also knows what he's looking forward to.
I'll be the best player I can be if I come here.